Wave 3 listens live.
And thank you so much for watching the Thursday edition of Wave 3 Listens Live. Today we've got two topics we're going to talk about, matters of the heart and matters of the home. When it comes to matters of the home, I have George Jenkins with us, and he is with Primax True Home Value. He has a big fat $500 check for you. We'll tell you how you can win it. And matters of the heart. Now, when I think about matters of the heart, I think about relationships. And today, Dr. Karam, who is a licensed marriage and family therapist, is going to talk about blended families. And to clarify that, Dr. Karam, we were talking off camera. Blended families are families like the Brady Bunch. Due to divorce, families come together. Sometimes it's not so smooth.
You know, people think about the Brady Bunch, John, but that's really a misnomer in the sense that blended families, it's a nice term, it's a term you see more used now, but it's really a misnomer in the sense that it takes time to blend. So when we talk about this today, remarried families, binuclear families, step families, all meaning the same thing, but we'll call them blended.
All right, if you happen to be a member of a blended family, give us a call if you have a question for Dr. Karam, 571-5263. We have a viewer email that I think will help us cut to the chase a little bit, Dr. Karam, so I'm going to go to it. Dr. Karam, I'm 30 and my new husband just turned 42. My 13-year-old stepdaughter has a very close relationship with her mother. She is often ambivalent and dismissive of me when I want to spend time with her. My husband has a cordial relationship with his ex, but hasn't really wanted me to talk with her about my stepdaughter. I just want to fit in. I've never had children before. I want to learn some tips on coping in a blended family. Between my husband and my stepdaughter, this is hard work. Lisa in Louisville. Lisa, I think we all can relate. I bet you get a lot of cases similar to this, Doctor.
Oh, yeah. Marriage and family therapists see as many kind of blended or remarried families as they do intact families. So that's a great question, Lisa, and we got some tips for you. So I guess the first thing is you have to be realistic in your expectations, meaning families take time to blend. If you expect everything to be perfect right away, John, it's not going to happen. You're entering the relationship with your own baggage, and you're entering another family that has their own rules, systems of relating to each other, and children that may or may not be on board with the idea that their parent or parents are getting remarried. So you got to be realistic in your expectations. So another tip we have is don't try to replace the other biological parent. And what do I mean by that? Some people come in and they want it to work so much from the start. They do not take time and they try to overstep their role, making rules, having credibility that they don't have built in just yet. So they are purposely trying to be the boss when really all the clinical wisdom, and we have a lot of clinical research that says this too, what you should do is go behind the scenes with your parent to make a plan behind the scenes, but let the biological parent enforce the rules and be the face person to the children.
Alrighty.
Right. And then we talk about respecting those boundaries of your children in the sense that don't try to force it too much, in the sense that meet them where they're at. Maybe you're dropping them off at school in the morning, maybe you're watching a TV show with them. Learn their world and respect their loyalty to their other parent. Maybe they're splitting the time between houses. Maybe they are not ready to share their world with you. So that's okay. Use the teachable moments. Build a relationship where the child is at, or children.
I think this is a very interesting topic. You've got another tip before I get to my question here.
Protected time. This idea that many people, they're young and in love and they want to focus on the relationship, and what happens is the blended nature of the family breaks that down, takes that away, so families, couples don't spend that time together. The reason they got married to start with. All the energy is detoured to the kids, who sometimes purposely make it hard for the couple to be the couple. So you have to have good boundaries. You have to focus on the couple relationship, whether it be a date night or what I call protected time. You have to have that built in.
You know, as a child, I was raised in a blended family, and I always admired my stepfathers because much of the time, they really did make an effort to try to pay attention to me and my interest. But I do think it's a slow process. As you said, you can't force the issue. How soon should someone try to make one-on-one time with maybe a stepdaughter or a stepson and say, you know, I want to get to know them better? Is that something that's gradual, individual? How do you judge? When is it time for me to really try to get closer with this person?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think if you're following those tips, if you say it like that to your, and this also depends on the developmental age of the child. We know the hardest years to blend are with an adolescent or a teen, especially if you're the same-sex step-parent. So like a stepmom would have a hard time blending with her step-teen daughter. So you lay it out there like that. Like, I want to get to know you. I don't want to force you, but I'm here. So look for some shared interest. Look for something that's not a high-pressured situation like enforcing rules or homework. Maybe it's watching a TV show. Maybe it's some type of cultural reference, a book, or something that your stepchild is into, so that you want to kind of meet them where they're at in that way and not force it.
What type of issues do you commonly see, doctor, with blended families? I would think, everyone has their own ideal of what a family should be like as far as how they are raised, what's the moral structure, what are the restrictions, what are the boundaries, and then you put two people together that may think they think the same way, but then you have a daughter or a son who has been raised by the one individual, and they don't seem to coincide with what they thought the end result would be. I guess what I'm saying is how do you, as a step-parent stepping into a situation, realize, hey, this isn't perfect, I didn't really buy into this, I didn't know what was happening here, but I have got to fit in. What issues do you see?
Right.
I mean,
marriage and family therapists, they're going to see a lot of couples that maybe have their own way of parenting, and it's worked for them, all right? But when their style does not mesh with their new partner's style, we have problems, especially if the romantic part of the relationship, the couple had been strong, and they see finally, oh, problems start to emerge when we start to blend. So you want to make sure you understand your partner's parenting style. And also, John, like you said, you were raised in a family like that. We only know two relationships, that of the one we're in, the way we were raised. So a lot of how we parent is affected by our family of origin. So you want to have a good game plan with your partner about how those styles mesh. And then you want to make sure when you do have disagreements, you're not letting the children come in there and split you, because they will do that. And probably most kids, teenagers or younger kids, are kind of intuitively hardwired to know how to create step on vulnerabilities, create tension between dad and stepmom or mom and stepdad. So you want to make sure whatever you're hashing out, whatever disagreement, you're not doing it in front of the kids. You're doing it in kind of a safe, protected place with the door shut. You want to model that boundary and that kind of privacy too.
Dr. Karam, how important is it for the ex-wife or the ex-husband who is now out of the house to buy in, to help that blend, more of a gentle blend? Is that important? I could see where perhaps the ex is a little upset about the split up, and they're almost using the children to go between the new couple. Does that happen often?
Oh, you got it. It's another thing marriage and family therapists are going to work with a lot. It's the people that are in the room. So maybe you're doing the blended family work. If you're out there and you want to go and see a marriage and family therapist, it's sometimes the person that's not in the room, i.e. the ex-spouse, that has a major player in the therapy, in the sense that if you don't have them on board in some way, there's going to be a limit to what you can do. And John, we know always it's not possible to have a cordial relationship with your ex, but all the research says on children when they grow up, the longitudinal research says if you can parent in the best interest of your child, that's the biggest predictor. So what you want to do is make sure that your co-parent in your old relationship is not threatened by your new spouse. And the best way to do that is come in the best interest of the child. If you say, look, we're never going to be friends, but I am married to your husband now, or your ex-husband now, and I want to have a relationship with you because I care about your child. And I'm not here to replace you. You're a good mother. I want to compliment, I want to help your child adjust to this. So if you come in like you're not threatening the ex's spot as far as in the parenting role, you're gonna get a lot further.
Very well said, very well articulated. Yes, the child is the priority. Okay, if you happen to be a member of a blended family, or you have blended family issues or other issues, we're going to recommend you jump on this website. If you have a question for Dr. Karam that we can discuss in future shows, KAMFT, that's Kentucky Association of Marriage and Family Therapists, KAMFT at insightbb.com. And if you're looking for a therapist, you have a recommendation for them to go to online.
Right, therapist, there it is, therapistlocator.net. And that is, you can put your zip code in anywhere in Wave Country, and that's going to give you a list of all the licensed marriage and family therapists, and that will be your starting point. And
I know we really focused on blended families today, but doctor, if you could talk to our audience a little bit about other issues you handle real quickly.
Yeah, marriage and family therapists, again, they're going to work not necessarily with the whole family, but they're going to view you relationally. So looking at you and your whole context. So issues around marriage, family adjustments, launching a child with special needs. You can find it all. That's the stuff we're going to be talking about on our segment. Again, you can go to www.kmft.org.
All right, thank you so much. Once again, Dr. Eli Karam, who is a licensed marriage and family therapist. All right, it's time for, I look forward to this every day. It's the cheesy joke of the day. If you'd like to win a free gift certificate to Little Caesars, know the punchline. Here's Tom Wills, the king of cheesy jokes.